we're in Canada because...
A boot! Not a boot. Sorry.
Hey, welcome back to Trail Trash ADV with Jeff. We're in the garage today, and I think this is part 5 of the Goldwing project. We've got the brakes sorted, we've got the bike stripped, we've got a little bit of electrical done. We got a test ride in. I think I got some footage there I'll put in. What else? That's about it, I guess. Carbs. Oh yes, the carbs cleaned. So the accelerator pump on carb 3 needs rebuilt. That's going to be ordered soon. We're not going to rebuild the brake calipers or the master cylinders at this point. The master cylinder in the front may swap out. I may unlink those brakes. So none of that stuff is going to get done anytime soon. So the brakes are where they are at for now. They're working. They work fine. Nothing leaks. The speed bleeder worked great. So that was a success on the rear caliper in part 4, I think we did. Okay. So today we're going to chop some fenders, I think, and we might get around to the seat, but I don't have a lot of time today, so I'm kind of in a crunch. And this week, I don't know how much time I'm going to have either. So maybe we'll just do the front fender, the rear fender. I don't know. I've got an LED taillight strip coming for the rear. We're going to do something modern there. And I haven't decided on a front headlight bucket, whether I want to go modern, retro, old school kind of thing. I don't know yet. So like I said, this is going to be, it'll be a mix. We're not going with any one theme here. We're just going with the flow. Yeah. So I'll get you set up on the fender here, and we'll just have a quick little look here and see what we're going to do. We got the fender. It's plastic. You know what? We should just throw this fender and get a nice aluminum one and make some custom mounted brackets for it. No, I'm joking. I like to use what I got laying around the garage. And although it's plastic and it's got these kind of riveted inserts, that's going to make things interesting. I think we'll probably use it. Or try to. If it doesn't turn out good, then maybe we'll toss it. I don't know. I think that's just well, that's cracked in the plastic, or if it's cracked in the just cracked the paint. It flexed. Anyway, let's get this back in and have a look at it. Bang. Yeah. So that is going to pose a problem because I normally want to cut this up. So we're going to have to stay away from that. So I can follow that line. I don't like the shape of this. I really don't. But in the absence of something better, yeah, I don't know. We could always just cut that out and then just re-rivet somewhere else. Like it doesn't mean we can't cut the metal bracketry. So if that comes in here, then normally what I like to do is come up. It'll be a rough cut first, and then we'll kind of get it narrowed down. And I'll always go a little less than what I want to, just to kind of get an idea of where we're going with the front of it here. Yeah. Well, no, we'll go this way maybe. Can we go that way? Well, let's get cutting and we'll see what we like and what we don't like. We'll just start with a rough cut. Kind of commit. If you've never seen this, someday I'd like to get a nice stand for this, so it will be sitting on its own. Out of the way, but until now that's the best I can do. Because it needs to be mounted on something really solid. Put one on my good safety squints. These are actually some DeWalt safety glasses, and they have my prescription right here in a little bit. But I find them a little bit, I don't wear them a lot because I find them a bit disorientating to keep switching between the two. Now, I do have a Dremel with a plastic cutting disc, which we'll probably switch to at some point, but for now, these metal cutting discs will do just fine. Alright. Smells like burning plastic. All right. Now we got a flare here. We're going to cut right along that line. Yeah, that's a little better. Clean up those edges. Don't cut towards yourself. It's dangerous, Mom always said. She was right too, because I've cut myself so many times you'd think I'd learn. But I haven't figured it out by now, and then we're gonna. Now, I find it easier to follow a pattern when cutting one of these front fenders. So I usually cut the end off and then follow the end pattern, but I really don't like the shape of this front. Like, I just don't like how that's cut. So I don't know if I really want to follow that. I guess we could use it as a basic pattern and then go from there. Here's my yellow. So I guess this will give us kind of an idea, I guess, how we're gonna go. Alright, for these cuts, we're going to grab the Dremel. Here, hopefully I didn't move you too close. You still see everything. Now, cutting plastic is kind of annoying because it tends to melt back together. At least ABS does. This is even kind of a rough cut. We'll sand this back. So one thing you might have noticed, and I like to do, is I like to score a line, and I do that pretty much with any roto cutting tool on any material, whether it's metal or plastic. You know, I always make a scoring mark, and then I go back in and go over and over again until I cut through. I never just go and then cut straight through. Probably cut that up too far. You think? I don't know. I don't know. I think if we go cover that line. See, I want one radius. So it comes around there, and then I want one radius. I don't want to cut that far though. Yeah, maybe that. Now, if we're doing this right, we would draw a pattern, then we could repeat that pattern on the other side. But yeah, we'll get one side looking good, and then maybe I'll do some sort of a pattern and then flip it over. Another tip is when you're cutting an inside radius, always give yourself lots of room, okay? Because you're not going to be able to make a clean cut with a roto tool. So I'm coming inside the line quite a bit. I guess we can go a little further there. Okay. There we hit metal. I think I'm going to drill that rivet out. Here, you guys stand by. Alright, so you get a better look at that bracket. Part of me wants just to drill all those out, honestly. And just take it right out of there. I mean, we'll have to put it back, but I mean, those are all grody rivets anyway, so maybe that's what we'll do. It'll be hard drilling that out though. I don't want to drill from this side. It's a tight radius, so I don't want to use the big zipper. But these little Dremel cutoff discs, they work really nice cutting until they don't. And they blow up. And then fragments go and put themselves into soft tissue. So I should be wearing a face shield, but I don't have one. So I'll try not to have it in my face. But I'm not a big fan of them. I'm really not. The more I think about it, the more I don't know if I want to have that there to begin with. All right, I might drill out those rivets. Hold on. They're gone. So we will decide if we're going to put those. Well, obviously we've got to put them back in because this isn't going to hit the mounting holes. So, all right. So that's pretty much there. So There's our rough guide. Put back the. All right, let's clean this up a little bit. Oof, that is not going to work. Let's be safe about this. Don't want the grinding disc. Nice dull 120 flap wheel. Should do this plastic just fine. I had that inverted. Oh, I gotta change that over. I had that inverted like that. Cleaning up the edge of those discs. I didn't film that because it wasn't actually very smart. But, oh well. Sometimes my wife watches these videos, so we don't need her worrying about me being an idiot. She knows it already. We just don't need visual proof of it. All right. And just a vertical scrape with a knife is a good way to get off all these little, I don't know what they are, strings or the flash, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's pretty straight. That one is not. That one still's got a bit of a curve there. All right, now we got a little bit of work right here and a little bit of work right there, but it's fine for now. So kind of like it's like a beak. I don't know. I may end up going a little tighter in here, so coming up straighter, following this line here a little farther. We'll see. Crazy about the back end. It was. Now, does it have to be perfect? No, it really doesn't. And why? Because the guy at the gas station that likes your bike and comes up and says, "Oh, that looks pretty cool," he's not going to get down and like eyeball your fender cuts. And if you're sending your bike pictures into Bike XF or you're taking it to the bike shed, yeah, you might want to spice it up a little bit. Try to make sure it's perfect. Now that's not even, right? But who's going to notice that down underneath your bike? Nobody. Now I know it's there, so I'm going to clean it up a little bit. But if it isn't perfect, it's just going to get it. It's just going to get it sort of. And another tip I can give you is you can do patterns. You can, like when I'm doing something in Fusion 360, for example, you make one side of it and then you mirror it, right? And then that way you're exact. And when you're doing something like that, a technical schematic, yeah, you probably want to be exact. That's actually bent out more. That's why that doesn't look right. Anyway, and that brings me that exactly brings me to my point. When you're doing this stuff, you want it to look right. It doesn't matter if it's symmetrical. Where the human eye loves symmetry. Don't get me wrong. That's the difference between an ugly person and a pretty person. Is a lot of times it's the one basic fundamental is symmetry, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean the human eye is perfect at picking that out either. It just means that the brain interprets it as symmetry. So if it looks symmetrical, then your brain says it's symmetrical, okay? So what I'm saying is you don't need to get exact measurements. You want to make it look good to the eye. If it looks good to the eye, you're good. Now, do those two often go together? Probably, right? It is symmetrical, so it looks symmetrical, but not always. That is not always the case. So anyway, let's we got a rough cut now. Let's take this over and have a look at the front. That'll probably sit right about there. You're not going to stay, are you? Yeah. Let me see what you're seeing here. I think it's up off the wheel quite a bit. Let me take you out of here. See what I mean? And I think these lines do line up with those bolts. I think, boom, they go in there. Yeah, so I like the way that sits a lot better. I didn't like the way it was sitting up off of the thing so much. I didn't like that. Now, something I didn't take into consideration was this tire. I should have followed that, I think. But this has got an odd curve that I'm not crazy about. So I think maybe I did split the difference between that in an okay way. But I think I'm going to leave the back one alone. I think I cut enough off that. That'll keep some shit from getting up onto the bike. As much crap getting up onto the bike. And I don't think I dare want to go any further with that. I think I've cut it back far enough. But I am going to have to think about those brackets, those metal brackets that go back in there, because the holes don't line up. I mean, that's the rear hole and that's the rear. Yeah, can you see that? Where's my light? There, you see that? So that's the hole, or that's the mount lug, and that's the hole. So it's not. I'd have to drill new holes, and they wouldn't be centered. This is actually back just like a slightly. So that I'll have to put the metal bracket in. I'll cut the metal bracket in, and I don't even know if I need to rivet it there. I'll put that one rivet that's up the top in it. But I don't think that I need any other rivets. It'll just stay there. It'll sister in because it's going to get bolted in here. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to think that. But, yeah, okay. Well, I think that's it for now. So we'll figure out a way to mount that back up. But for now, I think I'm happy with that. I don't think we're gonna mess that anymore. So on to the tail. Let's get the seat off. We'll have a look at it. All right. So here's the rear wheel. I like this line in the frame. Can you guys see that? I like this line in the frame. I really like that. And I don't feel any need to hoop it. This is going to stay. I think I'm going to try to use the same seat pan. Just modify it a little bit. I'm not a big fan of the cafe hump, but I don't mind and not that I want to make this look like a Harley or a cruiser, but I don't mind those solo saddles on the Harleys that kind of come up and then they just it's just a small hump. It's not really like a big cafe hump. So I think I'm going to go with something like that unless I change my mind. This inner fender is going to stay because the weather's crappy in Nova Scotia sometimes. Like we get a lot of rain, we get a lot of, whatever. I want to ride this. I might end up riding this early in the spring or late in the summer. Like it's not practical not to have fenders. Like it just isn't. So, if you're in California, hey, great. So the problem with the stock fender on the Goldwings is on these interstates, at least, I'm not sure if it's that way in the standard, is it's a two-piece fender because. Check this out. This even folds up. Now there's supposed to be little rubber thingies in there. Somebody stuck some electrical tape there to. Anyway, so and the reason that flips up is because this bottom fender has to come off to change the tire. Because you can't take all the racks and everything off of it. So I can't cut that fender. So we're gonna have to come up with something here. We could buy one of those really expensive aluminum custom-made fender. No, I'm joking. So I have this from another project. Now it's a little narrow. I don't know what it came off of. Like normally it would go like right there, but of course we're not leaving that. All right, so yeah, somebody did a really, nut job cleaning that up, but I can't remember where this came from, honestly. I do believe it was a Honda CB750. So maybe that's from Pete's bike, old CB750. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so we're obviously gonna have to spread this out a little bit, but I'm thinking something like that, and not quite angled, like angled up a little bit once I get this chopped off. So like maybe I'll cut it right there along that weld line, and then, well, no, maybe I'll take it back in just slightly farther than that. I'll clean up those welds. I don't want it to be too short. How does that look? I guess you guys can't see it. You have to come down on the side and see it. And it'll depend on the seat too. Like it'll depend on the seat how we're gonna want that. So I think I'll err on the side of caution. Maybe chop it right here. And then we'll see. I don't think the old one, no, those holes are there, but it didn't cut through there. So they didn't use these two holes here. Although they almost line up. So we could always chop this off and then re-weld it. So anyway, it's kind of crooked too. Well, we'll chop it and kill it. All right, you don't need to watch me cut that. So I'm gonna cut that with the disc, and then I'll bring you back. All right, so I tore the seat apart because I'm kind of looking at it going, I don't know what to do here. Like how far I want that out until I put the seat on. It's Halloween. I have to go in and look after trick-or-treaters here in a minute, so I'm running out of time. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking this has got to go. So I'm thinking like at least here. So maybe I'll follow this line down, and we'll come right across here. Okay. So there's the bracketry. Is it the same shape? Man, I wonder what's up with that. Oh, I bet you. Yeah, that's okay. That's like that for a reason. Okay, so I think we'll come up here. So here and here. So I think we'll cut right across there. All right. Are we getting somewhere? That may have to change somewhat. I don't know. Like I don't know what else we could tie in, but the seat's supposed to be able to go clear back to there, I think. I think it was adjustable. So like boom, you go clear back to there. But we're short, so we're going to there. All the way forward. Alright, I'm gonna take you out of here, put you down, and that'll give me a sideways look at too. Up further. Yeah, definitely got to get rid of those tabs down there and sand that up. But I don't think I want it like. Do we want to go clear up there? How does that look? I don't know, but I'm quickly running out of time, so I'll have a look at some of this footage and have a look at some of those pics, and we'll see. We'll see what we're gonna do. All right. I guess that's part 5 in the books. Hey, thanks for watching. If you stuck through this much, I guess we'll put a wrap on episode 5. And for Jeff at Trail Trash ADV, like and subscribe. See you in the next video. You know we're in Canada because...
A boot! Not a boot! Sorry.